Hey guys, Rob Cosberg with Bestseller Publishing. You can find us online at bestsellerpublishing.org. You know, a lot of people come to us already having their book done, perhaps even on Amazon or being published by another publishing company. And they're wondering, okay, number one, the book is, dead. There are very few reviews or no reviews. There's not much life. What can be done in a situation like that? And of course, our promotion strategy is terrific for that. We guarantee that we can make our authors and refresh their book and make them a bestseller, guaranteed. However, what I want to talk to you about today is what happens after that. Even if your book is a bestseller, what happens as far as profiting from that book and creating a way to promote yourself or your business with your book? How do you do that? Obviously, the book will do some of that in an automated fashion for you. But if you just leave it to that, then you're leaving out an enormous amount of potential promotion for yourself and your business, your services. How can you create a consulting program perhaps from your book if you're a speaker, a coach, a consultant of some kind? Or how can you create an endless flow of leads into your business, or if you're an expert, into your consulting and coaching and speaking opportunity program? So what I want to talk to you about for the next few minutes is what I call our P3 program, or our profit program. So the P3 program works like this. I want you to think of it in terms of a triangle where one thing flows into the next. That may be an ugly triangle, but hopefully you guys can see it well. And I'm not sure where we cut off at the bottom, but I'm going to make sure to spell it all out. So first part of the triangle is your client or prospect's problem. And I'm going to speak very specifically about each one of these areas. But the first part is the problem, which then leads to what we call your process. Your process. What that really is the solution to your potential customer's problem. Your process to solve it. And then last is that leads to what we call your promotion. Hopefully you can see that well. Promotion. Okay? So I want you to think in terms of creating something that solves your potential client's biggest problem. Now hopefully your book is the framework for that. If it's not, then you might have written the wrong book. You need to write a book that is very specific to solving a problem for your ideal client. Okay? If you're a consultant, a coach, a speaker, an expert of some kind, if you own a business, etc. So when you think in terms of solving that problem, here's what I like to think about, and this is what I teach my clients. You really want to solve their $100,000 problem, okay? The big problem in their life. Now I have a client I was speaking to about this morning. As an example, he's in Austria, and he works with relationship issues and big challenges with teenagers. And so parents that have relationship issues with their teenagers, and I got 3 teens, well actually 2 of them aren't teens anymore, they're 22 and 20, and then I have a 13-year-old. And I know that, there are challenges. My kids, thank God, are awesome kids and love them to death, and we're a pretty close family. But we went through challenging times in our relationship. That's kind of natural with teenagers. So what he does is he helps in those challenges. The $100,000 problem for his business, you may think not in terms of money, like it doesn't necessarily cost this parent that is experiencing major difficulties with their child, it doesn't necessarily cost them $100,000. It can, but it costs them $100,000 worth of anxiety and difficulty. Imagine having a teenager at home that maybe has drug or alcohol abuse issues, or maybe has suicidal thoughts or tendencies, or maybe just you can't say 3 words to without getting into an argument. So there's all kinds of stress and challenge and issues. This is the big $100,000 problem for that client. I don't know what it is for you and for your client, but this is what you need to discover. What is that problem? Now, why do you want to discover that? It's simple. You always want to think 10x. You want to think 10x. What I mean by that is this. Whatever you charge, you want the value proposition for your client to be 10 times or more what you charge. This is the way we do our business at Bestseller Publishing. So if you're solving a $100,000 problem, then that is potentially a client that you could earn over time or even immediately $10,000 from in a consulting or coaching or speaking or etc. service opportunity. With Bestseller Publishing as an example, if somebody wants a book, but A, they don't have a book, maybe they've been thinking about it for 10 years or more, right? But they've sat down, they've tried to write it, but they can't. You know, it's difficult. I know how hard that is. Maybe they've hired a ghostwriter, and the ghostwriter, you know, wasn't able to help them, you know, the way they wanted to. That very thing happened to me with my very first book. And so, you know, they don't know all the intricacies of getting published, editing, formatting, cover design. What book do I write about? How do I do it? So we solve that problem with our hybrid ghostwriting system, with our publish, promote, profit, trademark program. So that person that's been trying to do that for 10 years or longer, we can take their thoughts, their ideas in our hybrid ghostwriting process, and we can make them not just an author, something that's not just a little ebook, but a real book, physical and digital version, something they'll be proud of for the rest of their life. Then in our promotion, make that book a bestseller, guaranteed, or it's free, and then teach them our process so that they can profit from it and even build a business off of it that could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars a year. That is solving for our client a $100,000 plus problem that they have. You need to figure out that problem for your ideal client. Now, what does that lead to? That leads to the process that I just described. The process is your process for the solution to that problem. It could be, you know, a $97 CD course, 6 CDs, 3 CDs, something like that. It could be a $1,497 6-week webinar series that you're going to help them solve their problem by taking them through your process, okay? It could even be, you know, some type of consulting or coaching that is, you know, $15,000 plus, and that will be given to them over a year period, and you're going to show them via the milestones how that works. Again, for our client, this is the process for our client that has this $100,000 problem. They want a book, they want a bestseller, they want to know how to profit from it. Our process is the publish, promote, and profit program, our trademark program. You need to come up with a process to solve this person's ideal and big $100,000 problem. Now, once you've done those two things, you've really thought through what are the challenges that my client faces, what are their fears, what are their worries, what keeps them up at night, what are their aspirations and desires, and you've put the solution to that into your process. You do step 1, step 2, step 3, milestone A, B, C, and you help them and you solve their problem. It could even be a done-for-you service like our publish, promote, profit program is, where we just do it all for our client. Whatever it is, once you come up with the problem, you figure out your process, the next step is then to figure out how you're going to promote it. The cool thing, and this is, a lot of people do this exactly backwards. They first think, well, what is my offer going to be to my ideal client? How am I going to offer them something of value to come to me? The reality is, if you don't think through what their problem is, and you don't think through what your process is to solve that problem, then you're probably going to come up with a pretty sorry promotion for that client. You're not going to speak their language. You're not going to get eye to eye with them, realize their worries, their fears, what keeps them up at night, and come up with something that is very, very exciting to them. Now, the promotion can be done in a number of different ways. We've done promotions on radio. I was on the radio for almost 5 years. I did live radio, I did radio shows, and I did tons of radio spots. But again, this came after figuring out the problem and figuring out the process. Then we knew what to offer to our client. This could come via pay-per-click marketing, like Google AdWords, even Facebook, or of course, I just mentioned social media, which could be anything from Twitter to Facebook, etc., even LinkedIn ads, that kind of thing. But again, you'll come up with what the offer is and what your promotion is after you really think through and solve these two major issues. What's the problem, their $100,000 problem, and what's the process that you're going to take them through as a solution to the problem. That is our P3 program to help our clients get from having a book, the book being a bestseller, and now what do I do? So if you have a book, maybe it's not a bestseller, we're happy to try to help you with that. In fact, we don't try. If you want us to help you, we'll make it a bestseller guaranteed. But where the rubber meets the road is profit. How am I going to profit from my book? How am I going to make it grow? How am I going to do these things that I want? How am I going to promote myself or my business with it? How am I going to create a consulting program or some type of course with it? How am I going to create an endless flow of leads? The P3 system will do that for you. I'm Rob Cosberg. Thanks for being with me for a few minutes today. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, hey, comment below. Feel free to ask any questions. We'll try to respond really quickly and answer to your questions. If you want to reach out to us directly, go on bestsellerpublishing.org, or you can even email me at rob@bestsellerpublishing.org. Thanks so much. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rob Cosberg, and I'm out.